This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Christian pastor who told grandmother to go to queer grandson's wedding is fired. American Family Radio, the broadcast arm of the anti-LGBTQ+ American Family Association, has severed ties with 71-year-old church pastor Alistair Begg over his advice to a grandmother who has an invitation for her grandson's wedding to a transgender person. In a podcast, Begg encouraged attending the ceremony, but AFA branded it a, quote, homosexual marriage, end quote, claiming such marriages contradict biblical teachings. AFA Vice President Ed Vitagliano insisted on the wedding being a faux marriage and a sinful union. AFA President Tim Wildmon equated attending such events to enabling sin, saying, quote, if you go to the bar and you're an adult, that's your decision, but I'm not going to go and be a part of that, end quote. The rift highlights the AFA's stance that Christians attending same-sex weddings is equal to approving them. The AFA condemning LGBTQ+ individuals as immoral and satanic reminds us of countries like Russia, where the president has recently passed an anti-gay propaganda law. AFA also oversees 1 Million Moms, which is known for opposing LGBTQ+ representation in the media. While Begg's advice seemingly signaled acceptance, he has made anti-LGBTQ+ remarks in the past during the podcast named Truth for Life, the Bible, teaching ministry of Alistair Begg. He has deemed homosexuality unnatural and endorsed conversion therapy. The question is, why this sudden change of heart? Does the pastor finally understand that God accepts us all and we are all equally loved? Likely not, but this clash between the pastor and the AFA also underscores a broader debate within Christianity regarding LGBTQ+ acceptance and resistance against perceived cultural shifts. Now, I certainly can't say what this pastor is thinking, Pastor Begg. I applaud him for giving the advice to the grandmother to go to grandchild's wedding. And at the same time, I kind of wonder what's happening with him. He's speaking out against the LGBTQ+ community and inviting a grandmother to go to a grandson's wedding. Maybe there's an opening. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's something happening that we don't realize or that we can't know. I certainly don't know what's going on in his life. I hope there's something positive happening. I hope there's something wonderful and affirming, maybe starting to spark a little bit. I'd like to see more.
Yeah, it's troubling that people who normally want to wave the family values flag are condemning people who want to support their family.
Yeah.
This is one day. Your grandkid is celebrating their life.
Right.
You may not understand it, you may not agree with it, but you can't just be happy for them being happy one day.
Right.
One day. You don't have to live with them. You don't even have to talk about it. But that you would be demonized for just loving your grandkid. Mm-hmm. This isn't Jesus. This isn't God. This is spirituality. This isn't religion. This isn't the way it's meant to be. And this idea that it's not natural. Read a book.
Yeah.
I mean, I forget now. I should have looked it up because it's easily looked up. But I forget how many thousands of species have same-sex activity. Mm-hmm. Not one or two, not a dozen. Thousands. If it's unnatural, why is it all over nature? And in some of those species, it's just sex. They don't seem to bond. And in other species, they do bond, and for life. And so it's just not true that it's unnatural. It's true that it's not the majority human experience, but it is a significant minority experience. It's in every culture, it's in every age, and it's in multiple species. So the natural thing, wrong. Also, this idea that this is a homosexuality.
Yeah.
They're trans.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're misgendering a person to begin with, and then condemning them for being the gender that they're telling you they're not. So this is all kinds of it's about control.
Yes.
And making people, you know who the expert on you is? You. If you tell me that this is your experience, now obviously if you say, I think I'm a dog, I'm going to say, well, I think you should see somebody, you know. But if you say, I feel like I don't fit in either gender, or I feel more like this other gender than the one's been assigned to me, okay, that's a category. That is an experience. That is on the gender continuum. And we can work with that. There are therapists who can help you understand what that's about, come out. There's medical help. There's all kinds of stuff we can work, because that's a real thing. And just to decide, well, I don't like that because the Bible doesn't say one thing about no. Now there are people who are sort of a third gender in the Bible, and they are not condemned for that. But this issue of no, there are all kinds of people in the Bible, and the minute, it's a myth, of course, but the minute Adam gives birth to his wife, that means that the missus doesn't have the XX pairing, which means that we had intersex experience. That Eve, though she may look like a woman, she is actually an intersex person because she doesn't have the chromosome. And the chromosomal pairings, I forget how many dozens of those can be. And so what you don't know is a lot. And to make your ignorance a sacrament is hurting people. It's just hurting people. If these young people are in love, and if they break up next year, well, welcome to half of all marriages. I hope it works. I hope they're happy ever after. But this is just abuse. And here is this pastor traditionally mean, once in his life, he opens the door a little bit to be a little bit human. And say, yeah, Granny, be there for your grandkid. That's family values, that's love, that's kindness. And the sky falls on top of him. I just don't understand why the world doesn't see how ugly this is. It's mean. And religion's got to do better. You're making my work hard. You're making my life hard, because people are associating us with that foolishness just because we identify as religious. And I'm done with them being able to define what religion is, because religion is not cruelty. That's not what it's meant to be. People can make cruelty their religion, but religion is not innately cruel. And we've just got to say that louder and louder.
And just as this oversees some mom's group against whatever, I'm going to say, Grandma, here's your calling. Grandma for their queer kids. You know, it's time for the grandmas to come out and step up and stand with their queer kids also. Because I think that's something that's about that love. I mean, the love of a grandmother, the love of a mother, parent, saying, despite all this is my grandchild, and I'm going to go and support my grandchild. And so I think there's a call to the grandmothers out there somewhere lurking to say, grandmas, come on, you can do this. Like, moms, you can do this. And just say the hell with these folks. You know, if the pastor's been cut off, that's maybe an eye-opening moment for him as well. Because guess what? If they treat you like this, think about how they're going to treat everybody else that you have also treated like this.
That's right.
Yes.
So just think about how this rolls down. And it ain't rolling up, it's rolling down. So,
you were kind to one cisgender straight grandma,
and who
just wanted to show up to one event in her grandchild's life, and this is the blowback you're getting. Imagine what this grandkid is getting throughout their life.
And imagine how that feels for the multiple generations that have to endure this. So it's something.
Hashtag golden rule.
It's something to just pause and reflect on. And I hope that as he pauses and reflects on it, it will open up other opportunities for him. It's like, we can do better. I'm better than this.
Well, there's a Facebook meme out there that says, someday an army of old gray-haired women will come and rule the world. This is your time. This is the time to do it. Make it be so. Next up, we are excited to tell you about our next adventure with our Global Fellowship. This year, we'll be going to where the hills are alive as we explore Austria and Alpine Europe for Gay Oktoberfest. Space is extremely limited, so make sure to go to happeningout.travel/sunshine to reserve your space now.
That's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us.
We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss the issues important to our LGBTQ+ community.